Yeah, but people do remember the UK more. Why do you think that is? Did George Soros, partly have a play in this?
Well, how much money Mr. Soros made, is not in that sense really, I think, important.
One of the world's richest financiers, he is associated with political activism and support for liberal and democratic political movements. Last but not least, he's a conspirator, and I'm sure he belongs in hell. Yes, I'm talking about George Soros. Financier, philanthropist, controversial figure associated with many incredible acts. A man who is influencing the whole world, and the whole world is talking about him. So what is it going to be about today? How did Soros profit by short selling the British pound? What is short selling? What is Soros Fund Management? Who is Mr. George Soros? Soros the writer, and Soros' most famous quotes. George Soros' most famous speculation on the British pound occurred in 1992 and became known as Black Monday. Soros and his firm Soros Fund Management bet against the British pound (GBP) when Britain was part of the European Monetary System (EMS). How did Soros profit by short selling the British pound? The EMS was a system in which the currencies of the European Union were held within specified exchange rate limits. The British pound was tightly pegged to other currencies, but was under pressure because of economic problems in the United Kingdom.
But actually, I think we benefited from getting out. I think it was a good thing we got out. And I think it was a good thing that we had a period in, because we had a very, very strong counter-inflation measure. And inflation went from 11% to under 2% in a quite short period of time.
Soros and his team figured that the British pound would be devalued because of speculation in the financial markets, and they were proved right. Soros started shorting. In other words, he was betting that the value of the pound would fall. Soros' speculation was fueled by several factors, including economic difficulties in the UK and political divisions over the future direction of the British economy. When the British government under Prime Minister John Major failed to hold the pound's exchange rate and was eventually forced to leave the EMS, the pound experienced a sharp decline in value. Soros and his firm, Soros Fund Management, made a huge amount of money. At one point, exactly September 16, 1992, using leverage, Soros was able to make a $1 billion profit on a $10 billion short position on the pound. This action earned Soros a reputation as one of the most successful investors in history and earned him the nickname "the man who broke the Bank of England."
Well, Margaret, the pound is sinking fast, and strategists, they're bashing Britain's currency and revising forecasts lower. One key reason here, Bank of England may be losing credibility, and that's the latest from Commerzbank. Well, the argument that they have economic data have been upbeat, but the Bank of England has been sending a different message, particularly when it comes to inflation. UK inflation numbers, they've been beating the bank's expectations. Governor Mervyn King warned in August inflation may drop more than a percentage point below the bank's 2% target. Meanwhile, July inflation then came in at 1.8%.
What is short selling? This is an investment strategy in which an investor sells a security that he does not own in order to profit from a decline in price of that security. Simply put, the investor borrows a number of shares from a broker or other intermediary, sells them in the market, and then later buys them back at a lower price, thereby receiving the difference between the sale and purchase price as profit. Short selling is particularly possible in relation to shares, but can also be done with other assets such as commodities, currencies, or derivatives. This strategy can be used by investors who expect the price of the asset to fall. However, there is also a risk that the price of the asset will start to rise, which can lead to larger losses. What is Soros Fund Management?
And working here is really a privilege. We run just shy of $30 billion effectively for a single client, which is the foundations that George started, the Open Society Foundations.
This is one of the most famous hedge funds. Soros founded the fund in 1969, and it has become one of the most important and successful hedge funds in the world. The company was originally known as Double Eagle Fund and later renamed Quantum Fund. Soros led the company for a long time as its chief investment officer. SFM is known for its aggressive investment strategies. They focus on speculation in currency markets, commodities, stocks, and other financial instruments. The company is known for its bold to risky trading practices, achieving high returns and losses through a variety of investment strategies. Who is Mr. George Soros?
You're a Hungarian Jew who escaped the Holocaust by posing as a Christian.
Right.
And you watched lots of people get shipped off to the death camps.
Right. I was 14 years old. And I would say that that's when my character was made.
In what way?
That one should think ahead, one should understand and anticipate events.
He was born George Soros on August 12, 1930 in Budapest, Hungary. His family was of Jewish descent. During World War II, Soros escaped deportation to a concentration camp by having his family escape and falsely pretend to be Christians. After the war, Soros emigrated to Great Britain, where he studied economics at the London School of Economics. After graduating, he moved to the United States and began working on Wall Street. Soros has personal experience of totalitarian regimes, having grown up in Hungary under the Nazis and later the Communists. These experiences later influenced him in his efforts to promote democracy and an open society. Soros is known for his philanthropic activities.
Trying to improve the world is more difficult than making money. You can only measure it if you have a strategy. I set up a foundation to promote this idea of an open society.
His foundation, the Open Society Foundations, promotes democracy and human rights around the world. It provides financial support to organizations fighting for democracy, transparency and human rights. Soros is often considered a controversial political actor. His financial support for political campaigns and activist groups has been the subject of criticism and controversy in many countries, especially in the US. He has been accused of trying to influence the political process in favor of his own interests. Soros, the writer. He has written several books in which he discusses his philosophy of investing, politics and society. I name, for example, Soros on Soros, Financial Markets, Social Policy and Philosophy. This book is essentially an autobiography in which Soros reflects on his life and career and analyzes the relationship between financial markets, politics and philosophy. Another book is The Alchemy of Finance. Here Soros presents his theory of the reflexive market, in which he argues that investment decisions are influenced not only by objective factors but also by subjective interpretations of those factors, which can lead to incorrect price levels in the market. The crisis of global capitalism, open society endangered. In this book, Soros explores the problems associated with globalization and capitalism and argues for the need to reform the global capitalist system in order to preserve an open society. In The Bubble of American Supremacy, Correcting the Misuse of American Power, Soros analyzes US policy and warns of the dangers of American nationalism and the excessive use of military force. In The New Paradigm for Financial Markets, the Credit Crisis of 2008 and What It Means, Soros discusses the global financial crisis of 2008 and its causes and proposes reforms that could prevent future similar crises. Soros' most famous quote: "It's not whether you're right or wrong, but how much money you make when you're right and how much money you lose when you're wrong." This quote emphasizes the importance of risk management and the willingness to adapt to market conditions. Markets are constantly in a state of uncertainty and flux, and money is made by discounting the obvious and betting on the unexpected. Once we realize that imperfect understanding is the human condition, there is no shame in being wrong, only in failing to correct our mistakes. This quote highlights the need to admit mistakes and learn from them, an important aspect of the investment process. Although my channel is focused on long-term investing, George Soros belongs to traders and speculators. Even so, I think that this is a significant figure in the world of investment titans.
He's a giant. He walks very small, careful steps. So people don't hear him going boom, boom, boom. And actually, I think he's quite shy.
I trust you enjoyed the excursion into the world of big money. And I would be happy if you shared this video with like-minded people. Have fun and invest for the long term.